It's a Golden Weed Show. That's Yes.
And that's Sasha.
And we're live on idobi Radio on this wonderful summer Monday night. What a beautiful night it is to be back in the studio, back in the idobi Radio studios. We're good and we're glad to be here. You can find us. We're doing so many sophisticated things. First of all, we have merch. I'm wearing it.
Yes.
You can go to the YouTubes if you're listening now. I mean, you won't be able to see it because we're not live streaming, but we will be able to do that soon. But YouTube will have this. I'm wearing our fitted Cool Nerd Weed Show retro logo. John.
It was based off of a painting, an actual painting.
This shit is really cool. Yeah, we have really talented friends. And
shout out Maurice.
Yeah,
Thank
Maurice. You. And we have this design you can get on a mug too. And super fucking sick. Go to coolnerdweedshow.bigcartel.com and find it there. Okay? That's what you should do. The link is also in our Instagram bio, but fuck Instagram.
What a load of shit.
We're annoyed. We had to change our fucking profile picture and they keep taking our fucking posts down. We're not even smoking really in the post. The one was we went to a very fun event that idobi Radio put on this weekend at Frogtown Brewery. Shit was lit.
Hell yeah.
AF. It was so fun. American Authors was there. Tilly was there. Small Pools DJ'd. It was Young Rising Suns. And it was just absolutely amaze. It was so fun. And we were chilling outside and we put a sticker, as one does. One does soft vandalism. And we just put our camera on it. There's nothing crazy about our logo. It has a joint in there, but that could be anything. I guess it says weed in our name. So that's the thing. It's always been the problem.
Our logo keeps getting flagged.
And that's bullshit because our logo is the best part of this show.
And that sticker post.
Yeah. That sticker post. And
all
it was a great
fucking
post.
Kids. Keep leaving your fucking stickers.
Yes. That's what Instagram sounded like. And that's whack. So get your shit together, Instagram. So dumb. Stop suppressing weed content. What's the fucking point? Why are you so mad at
I don't know. I mean, I get cap shops, $25 cap shops in my
that's probably
timeline.
That is it. That's why the robots that control this stuff, they just see weed and they're like, oh, they must be selling weed. We do not sell anything. You know what? Should we put a 21 plus on our Instagram bio or something?
Restrict it to can we do that?
No, I don't know if we can restrict it, but if it just says it.
I've seen.
OnlyFans people do that a lot.
By following us, you are agreeing that you are 21 plus.
Yeah, a lot of weed things do that too.
Does that hold up
I don't know.
Instagram court?
I don't know. I don't friggin' know. I'm annoyed though, so fuck Instagram. But so far, YouTube hasn't taken our shit down. That's cool. So I guess go on YouTube and find us there. And you can talk to us anywhere. We're just upset. That's all. So, okay, this is something I wanted to talk about.
All right, sit down, light one up, pack a bowl, because the nerds have opinions. Grab your greens and sesh with the Cool Nerd Weed Show on idobi Radio.
Thank you, Fish. This is the Nerds Have Opinions, but it's also kind of breaking news. Sanjay Gupta from CNN. CNN is a pile of a mess, but Sanjay Gupta's always been very pro weed.
Oh yeah.
He was also the face of the pandemic, so he was a trusted. When he would come on, no matter what he said, I didn't even care if he was 8 billion people died today from COVID. I was like, oh, Sanjay, you're so reliable.
He was on CNN every day.
That poor guy, every fucking day. No wonder he loves weed.
Trying to reassure us that everything was going to be fine.
Yeah, he was just everything's going to be okay. So the guy, I've always had a soft spot for Sanjay. I feel like he does good reportings and he really susses stuff out. That's what it seemed. I remember when I first moved here to LA, that's when the weed series first kind of popped off. He was doing it on CNN and it was kind of a Vice thing to people were doing a lot of weed content, and they were talking about medical refugees, and nobody really knew what that was
Oh, yeah,
at the time. So it's useful info. I don't know. I don't know where you can find the whole series. Like, you're probably on demand it somewhere, but he's done like 7 of these. And the last one was autism. And we did play, I think we played a clip from it. It was good. And again, like we say this and we watch these things all to like underscore the real life. I mean, this is not real life, but it is a, news story. We deal with the actual people, like the actual father who's calling me crying, asking if we have, I think what other gummies were in a tin? Plus was in a tin. Caminos?
The Caminos.
It wasn't Camino. It might have been Plus, because
um,
Plus were the original tin ones, I think.
Yeah, Plus was in a tin.
And they had they had a ratio.
They had a ratio. They've always had the ratio.
A really good ratio. And the father called me crying, asking if I had 50 units. And I was like, that's just about all we have. And he was like, my son is autistic. He bangs his head against the wall until he bleeds. He's having an episode and we can't find the gummies anywhere. And he came in and he was crying and thanking us and hugging us and saying, you don't even understand what this does for my child. I can't get this medicine anywhere else. They won't give it to me in other states. So we see it all of the time.
Daily.
So we know. All that to say, this is a story about the older generation turning to weed.
Sanjay's been on board with cannabis and reporting for about 10 years now.
Yeah.
And I see a lot of seniors come in to the shop, and
they do.
All of this. What is he reporting on? Senior moments and cannabis.
Yes, which is it is interesting. The honestly, that's a big part of dispensary. We had a lot of caretakers. A lot of people come in and bring their older patients and stuff, or their older clients and stuff.
I think it's difficult for a lot of the seniors if they weren't. Well, either they tried. I feel like this is the senior experience. Either they tried cannabis back in the 60s, 70s, or even the 80s, and they either loved it or they hated it.
Right. Or it was
just they didn't really do anything.
They say it in this documentary, the woman that Sanjay is talking to. She's a brand ambassador for Glass House, which we won't go into how we feel about Glass House. You know how we feel about Glass House, and you probably feel the same. That is not part of the story. Part of the story is this woman who is 75. She was of the group of people who thought it was like crack cocaine, and that you were going to be arrested the second you looked at a joint. She was part of the generation that thinks weed is the devil's lettuce, and for sure you're going to go down a path of
she was
destruction.
A former Catholic school principal.
Yeah. So they're not too weed friendly. And so it's difficult for seniors to access that acceptance for weed when they've really seen out here. Though I feel like it's different in California. A lot of people, a lot of seniors come to the dispensary. I feel like on Sundays we would have
CBD Sunday.
CBD Sundays, and that's after church or after afternoon dinner or afternoon supper. They would all a lot of seniors would come in.
I do Saturday mornings, and mad seniors come in.
Yeah, and it's great. It's really great to see the older generation get through the stigmas and also their experiences. And it's interesting. And Sanjay, he talks about he goes into obviously a little bit of background about weed and stuff. He talks about the endocannabinoid system. That's something that still people are learning about and need to learn about. And he did stuff on Charlotte. Fiji.
Yeah, one of the very first, the little girl.
Yeah, and she was absolutely wonderful. And she passed away. So, but she changed the entire world with CBD, and Sanjay was there. So, everybody knows and beloves that story. And now I feel like that's happening for older people. He interviews a few senior men, and he's like, this has replaced medicine for you. And like the way this guy's eyes light up, and he's like, it's like magic. Like I think that's the one dude suffered from insomnia. And when you're older, like that's a big problem. Like seniors, number one complaint.
I'd say, yeah, for
besides
sure.
Pain.
Definitely number one
Yeah.
in LA.
Yeah.
Like people need to sleep. If you can't
especially
sleep.
if you're a senior citizen. I mean, I know from my experience, I have wicked bad insomnia. So I understand it. But as like a senior citizen, you need sleep.
Your healing starts when you're sleeping.
100%.
And when you're relaxed.
In every way, shape, or form, your soul and your brain and your body. So it's, I mean, I remember, and it's so tough. Like I remember one senior woman came into the shop, and she was like, it was when we started the childproof stuff.
Oh,
and like she called me up and she was like, how do I open this? I just want to sleep. And I was like, I'm so sorry, man.
That's almost a weekly occurrence now.
Yeah.
Those
So, you know,
tins are really hard to open for a lot of people.
If you're a senior and you're thinking of trying weed for the first time, just have a homie. Just have a friend there to help you open up the thing. Because even our age people get upset about it. They don't like know.
Would you say like set in their ways?
They're set in their ways, and B, it's so new to everyone, really, but it's so new to them. So like, there's this one guy who like popped like 5 edibles, you know, because like he was like, because with pills, you know, you have a dosage and it's understood for some reason. We understand pills way better.
Yes.
You know, they say you take one sleeping pill, one whatever Seroquel, whatever that you're going to take to go to bed, or whatever the other pill was that made everybody Ambien.
Made everybody like cook in their sleep.
Or like drive their car
shit
to like their ex's house or some shit. Like that's like, you know what's going to happen. Including the bad side effects. With weed, it's, you know, while you'll never die, drive your car off of a cliff, you might have a little bit of a dosage, or you have a bad time. And this one guy had it, and he was like freaking out. I think he took like 3 edibles or something.
In today, you know, back in 1996 when the medical cannabis movement was really getting going, we didn't have like the 5-10 milligram system. It was like the X system.
Yeah,
so,
that's right. Yeah,
you know, 1X was supposed to be like a regular dose, which varied dramatically depending on the product.
Who knows what that was? What do you think that was? Like a 1X edible? What milligrams do you think that was equal to?
Probably like anywhere from 10 to 20.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
Maybe 10.
I don't know. I would take 3X.
Like 5.
I was a 3Xer.
Like a 5 milligram. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. The dosing was wildly different.
Yes, that's the point.
We're much more scientific now.
Well, yeah, yes.
But still, like you still like might be prone to taking extra gummies.
We all are.
Not knowing.
So,
who knows?
So yeah, this homie Ken, he took too many, but he talked to his doctor, which, you know, as a senior, you have a doctor that you know and that you love, right? And that doctor may or may not be cannabis friendly. More and more doctors are. But, you know, my mom has a senior. Actually, she's not even a senior. It's a shame. She has cancer. She talked to her doctor about cancer and weed, because all I do is say, I will find you RSO in that state. They make it now in New Jersey. And the doctor was like, I don't know. And then so she like didn't want to try it. She was scared. And I'm like, she's going through intense treatment. It's not, you know, looking great. And boy, do I know the relief that she can just have maybe just 1 or 2 days of eating or 1 or 2 days of sleep. The pain that you have, the arthritis that you're feeling, if you're going through sickness and illness like cancer and even stuff like panic and disorientation. If you're with somebody who's your caretaker and your doctor approves it, or you find a doctor that can approve it, it's safe. You're going to be safe, you know, like, and that's the thing that more and more doctors are realizing, but there are still some doctors that aren't. So if you're a senior citizen and your doctor doesn't quite yet know what to do, your local dispensary bud tender is happy to help you. We're not doctors. We don't claim to be. But especially in California and places who have been doing this for a long time, Colorado, I'll bet you they are well-versed in helping you.
We could probably actually point you to a doctor that is
100%,
friendly and
100%.
will help you.
We'll help you, yeah. Yeah, like if you want to DM the nerds, whatever you want to do to feel comfortable. We have done this for people, and we do this for
sure.
people. I've done this for people. This is what we do. So, and again, we know some doctors are friendly, and this doctor helped this dude get like on his right dosage. And, it's interesting. Like, it's interesting because you're so right. It's like, there's a big gap in some seniors and when they first tried it and now, like there's like, I haven't smoked weed since I was, in my whatever age. And I stopped doing it because blank, because it was illegal, because I had a bad experience, because, I had kids or whatever. Like,
we're seeing a lot. I'm seeing a lot more of seniors coming in with their kids. I mean, it's summertime, it's vacation, so
yeah,
we're getting groups of families coming through with their kids that are obviously everyone's of age.
Right.
So
yeah, not like their children.
Then you get the conversations happening of when they actually smoked, and you try to find them something mellow, but they're always curious. They're very curious.
Yeah.
Because it's so much different and it's so much more civilized now.
That was something that blew my mom away too when she came to California, that like how like civilized it was. I mean, there are areas of it where it's not, but
true. I think the first time I actually brought my parents into a legal medicinal cannabis shop, they were probably a little nervous.
Yeah, for sure.
To be in the environment, because they, I mean, obviously the police weren't going to bust through the door and bust my mom.
But that's the mindset that they had, like.
But it was a good introduction.
Yeah.
To like how civilized it is and how civilized it can be, the cannabis buying experience.
Definitely. It is comforting to see it in action. And it is very, very safe and civilized in the legal market. And it is comforting. Like you can, and you really can access it safely, and you really can do it. And it is going to be trial and error, if you're trying it
always
for the first time after a while. And that's okay. Don't let that kind of like scare you away, because you will. And it's always like, I'm always like, oh, it's too bad that like that experience that you remember forever, like is the bad one. And trust me, I get it. Like you're talking a couple of trial and errors over here. But like we just obviously are encouraging like open-mindedness, because if nothing's working and you're awake or you're in pain, like the wonders that CBD can do for pain, and that's not even psychoactive. Like, so and sometimes you'll have like, some seniors who will try a topical. One mom and daughter were coming in every Sunday and like putting on, like the mom would put on the topical. She'd be like, "Oh my God, I'm a little buzzed," and I'm like, "You're not. You won't get.
You're just a little giddy."
Yeah. You're not. I always say like you're not in pain, so like that maybe is gonna feel high or euphoric,
like relief.
Yeah.
is you can feel that.
It could be like a form of high, but topical, like that's a way to find relief from weed without feeling psychoactive. If you take CBD, like I don't know. Some people have weird reactions to CBD, so I always feel like I recommend it always to everybody all the time, but sometimes like some people with like a certain like a fibromyalgia or something like will come back and be like, that made me feel like ass cracks. Like that's just not for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's just not
the
dosage for them. So you try something else, maybe a higher ratio or a 1-to-1 where it's like an equal. Like this is going to make you feel literally a little high, but you're also going to feel no pain.
You have to find your dosage and start low and slow.
Yeah.
And you'll get there.
And please, this is what my husband's senior father did. He smoked weed when it was legal in Massachusetts with me and took a hit of a joint. I was like, "Yeah, I'm not doing anything." And I was like, "I'm telling you, Art, they don't make them like they were when you were a cop. Like weed is much different now." And he like bodied like half of the joints and was like tore up. This is a famous story. I tell this all the time. He was like very high, and like my mother-in-law was really pissed because he couldn't remember the rosary. They were doing the rosary and like.
Well, then you did.
He got all fucked up and he couldn't remember. And then he had snacks.
You did your job.
I know.
She was like testing him, like.
Well, no, they do the rosary every night. They're like,
I see,
religious, so they do like the Our Father, Catholic.
Oh,
they do
okay.
The Catholic
they have
prayers.
a ritual, and he forgot it because he was lit.
He was litty, and I was like, Jesus still loves him. I'm sure Jesus found that fucking rad as hell, and was like, this high five all the way. I was really like not much prouder than I was at that moment that I got my retired detective father-in-law to get. But that's what happened. He hadn't smoked weed since he was a hippy dippy, like way back in the day, like before even he was married, I think. And I think that like back then weed really was the gateway drug, and he was kind of running in that like loosey-goosey crowd, and I think he started to feel himself slip because that was like his personality. He like partied in the pool halls. That's what he was used to tell me. So he like got into the force, the police force. So he went the other way. So weed is, really the enemy to him. Was.
I mean, for like a career.
For a career.
A full.
You're on the East Coast enforcing the drug laws. So to have that happen was great. And it was also, it's a good example of like not knowing yet how different weed is. And also that's okay. Like, yes, did he forget the rosary? Was my mom-in-law like a little annoyed? Like, yes, but at the end of the day, he had a good time.
And he probably had a good night's sleep.
Exactly. He did say that. He was like, boy, I haven't slept that good in so long. And I was like, that's what's up. Like, that's what's up. Like, it also helps you like, like with your dreams too. Like if your dream, my dreams are hella vivid anyway, but like sometimes you ain't want to dream, and weed can help you sleep through the anxiety, through the pain. So this is it's a good article on CNN.com, but also it ran last night. You can probably find it somewhere. I didn't finish it, but I definitely am going to watch the whole thing later on when I'm smoking lots of weed. It's really nice to be high watching these things because I'm always like, yeah. Hell yeah.
We're doing it. It's on CNN.
We
Go Sanjay. Yeah.
We still have a lot of work to do, we always say. But stories like this and experiences like we have with this, with whatever group of people, like in this instance, it happens to be the senior group of people. Boy, is it fucking wonderful when an older person who just fucking lived life finds relief. That used to make my heart swell out of my chest when I would see them leaving all fucking da-da-da-da. You know what I mean? Like, just like pushing their canes away like fucking Mr. Burns, like all stoked.
It's like that Twilight Zone when they found the, everybody's playing Kick the Can.
Yeah.
All the old people are young again.
I love that episode. That episode makes me cry. They're kids. Oh, I love that episode.
But that's what cannabis does for seniors.
Yes, it's a really beautiful thing to see. It really, really is. And yeah, if you have any questions, TS and I will not belittle anything that you feel. If you are set in your ways as well, we are okay with that too. Just, if you have any questions, we'll answer them. Because we have answers. There's answers to your questions. It's not like that's the good thing about back in the day too, or about it not being back in the day too, is that we have.
There's information. We have the info.
Yeah. I think Chris's grandfather thinks I'm he knows I do radio, but I don't know if he knows what I do in LA. Like I think he thinks I'm like a nurse practitioner or something. I swear.
A florist.
We had the conversation. When his nana passed, and he was like, so how's it going out in LA? What are you doing? And I was like, yeah, well, I'm doing some podcasting. And he's like, oh, okay. I thought you're a receptionist for a doctor's office because I was working at the weed and I was like, yes, I am.
Yeah.
And his parents were dying. His parents were like just eating like all quietly because I was like, I don't know what to say. That I don't know what they told you.
I would tell my grandparents that it was holistic medicine, and then the same thing. Everybody would be quiet. There'd be like silence at the table. So
Like, thank you guys. But now, and it's much different. It's much different, even just in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
From when I started, obviously you had been in it, but I had started in it 10 years ago, and so much has changed for the better. Oh my God, look at us. We're so positive right now.
I mean, there's like 38 states on board.
Right. And that all really did happen in the last 10 years.
True.
That was
it
really did go in the right direction. I often wonder if I had never come here, if I was on the East Coast and all of this happened, I often wonder what I would be thinking. Do you know what I mean? Like coming out, like you're so desensitized to the rest of the world, how the world deals with weed. In Southern California specifically, like in LA specifically, we are in a box of people who love weed and accept weed. And even the few who don't do, leaving the state and going to different places in the country, it hits you, you remember, but never have been here, being here and being only from New York and seeing all of this happen. I wonder if I'd just be losing my fucking mind.
In New York?
Yeah.
Right now? Oh, yeah.
Like if I had never be able to get, I wonder if I would still be buying weed on the traditional market. Because I'd be like, fuck paying. Do you know what I'm saying?
Would there be a whole nother multiverse?
We're going to get into this, by the way, in a couple minutes.
A whole nother multiverse where you never move to LA.
Right.
Oh my God.
Like a whole other Spideyverse where I'm in my Brooklyn apartment.
And we never met.
What
the fuck?
And you were here.
I was
doing
here
your thing,
like by myself?
By yourself, no podcast or anything with me. Or maybe you did a podcast with another bitch, but it wasn't me.
With like blue hair.
Yeah. And I was just in New York on the radio, not talking about weed. I don't know that I would, with what New York is doing now. And me, I had obviously bought weed from the traditional market all throughout my life. I wonder if this would bum me out and if I wouldn't want to go, or if I obviously would, but I wonder if I'd be like, what the fuck is going on here? Why is this happening like this? Like I wonder if no matter what, I would be curious and it would lead me to be interested in this, or if I'd just passively be buying on the traditional market like so many people are. And then we never had a podcast or met.
Oh my God. My mind is blown.
I don't like this universe, by the way, that we're describing. This is like not the one. This is the one where like, this is the part of the multiverse where you have to find me in it. You have to find what is and
convince you that you need to move to LA.
Yeah. You have to find like some time doctor. You pick which one it is. It could be Doctor Who. It could be a Marvel doctor. I don't care who it is. And and you have to convince me.
Grab you in the TARDIS.
You grab me in the TARDIS.
And convince you. I basically kidnap you. I dye your hair pink.
This is where you belong. And then everything clicks into place and I have all these visions of past shows that we've done. And this is great.
Wow.
Thank you for coming on that journey with us. We're going to write that for some silly special that we do. And we are going to talk about New York in 1 second. We're going to take a quick break and we will be right back.
We salute you, the United States of cannabis, under all 50 strains, one pre-roll under bong. The Cool Nerd Weed Show on idobi Radio.
Yes, we are back.
And we're back.
It's the Cool Nerd Weed Show. That's T.S.
And that's Sasha.
And we're live on idobi Radio. Thank you for hanging out with us. Yeah. We were just talking about a universe in which T.S. and I never met. And it was horrible.
It was. I don't want to watch that movie.
I don't want to watch that movie. But I do like the idea of a time traveling or a weed time traveling lord who goes through time to make sure the right weed events happen.
This is the discovery of hash.
Yeah. This is Rick Simpson. I don't want to give you cancer, but let's do it in a different way. Yeah, so that was funny. And now, okay, so we had a big jovial half hour, and we're going to be a little annoyed now because we were talking about New York, and the reason why we were talking about the alternate universe is because I lived in New York my whole life, so I experienced weed through the traditional market, and when I was there, fucking dabs were just taking off the last time I smoked traditional in New York, which was 11 years ago when I lived there. So I have no experience living there and seeing the culture unfold as it has. And, you know, I wonder what the vibe is there. We always wonder what the vibe is there.
There's sessions now. There's like
lots of sessions.
There's
with brands,
competition. There's brands. There's
yeah.
You know,
they just like today or yesterday issued a court order in New York to halt cannabis dispensary openings. And mind you, there's like 20 or not even. I think
there's only like 20 right now.
Now there's 20 dispensaries in this block radius of Idobi Radio Studios here in LA, just to put in perspective.
Yeah, we're talking about all of New York State.
This is fucking crazy to me. So it's already been kind of a shit show to get these licenses out there. In 2021, they did have like the kind of a blanket term of what social equity was, and that did included like people who were affected by weed enforcement.
Yes, social equity,
which is the biggins, but also
they were
minorities. They were prioritized. There was also like minority-owned businesses and veterans
and women-owned
business and veterans as well.
Yes,
and the social equity was prioritized because it was such a shit show, and nothing was getting put through, and nothing was getting done. That there was like some sort of like emergency, like kind of like we have to get at least this part of what we promised done. So the social equities, the licenses were kind of like pushed through, and then the rest kind of went by the wayside or went like in limbos. And now kind of everybody's fucked.
Well, yeah, everybody's totally fucked in New York. New York is totally fucking up their cannabis rollout.
It's really bad.
So what has actually happened is this group of service-disabled veterans.
Yes.
They filed a lawsuit arguing that the prioritizing licensing program was for entrepreneurs was being impacted by marijuana enforcement. It was unconstitutional. So,
right. Yes.
So they're not able to get their licensing.
Right, because social equity was being
prioritized and unconstitutional as far as like entrepreneurial business is concerned.
Guess, like, I don't know. I mean,
so when that happened, the courts took their side, and now they're blocking all the cannabis agencies from issuing new licensing or from granting operational approval to those who are already licensed and working towards opening dispensaries. So this is, I have a homie that just got approved for a retail license in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
So he's in this boat. I'm going to have him on.
Yeah.
He'll call in. Anyway, so this means that those who are about to open can't get a government to check off, like they can't get an inspection. Like before you open, the whatever Bureau of Cannabis in New York would have to come through and do an inspection. So they're in limbo. Nobody who's in line to get a license now is able to get their license. But those who are about to open, it's even a further setback because, you know, you've spent all this money and you have to have like the Bureau of Cannabis check off one thing. And now they're not able to because they're being throttled by this court order.
Right. And they interviewed one entrepreneur who's stuck in Queens. He had started kind of going through the motions, and now he's one of those people who were affected and can't go forward. And he was saying, like, in other markets, like Illinois or Michigan, special interest groups, which, you know, I guess like Chad's would fall under that, you know, government falls under that. You know, investors, follow the money, all that shit. They found a way to like pit one social equity group against another. So it's what we see
everywhere,
all the fucking time with everything. It's divide and conquer. It's let's let them do the infighting. Let's fuck them all, and then we'll come in and save the day, which is so fucked up. And it's what weed isn't about. Like, this is so
Totally.
not weed right now. Like, this is like not at all what is supposed to be done when you're making weed legal. So they're doing another hearing, I guess, in a few days. This is August 7th, if you're listening to this podcast in the future. And August 11th is when they're doing another hearing. I don't know what happens now. I really don't. Like, I don't know if New York... Gosh, I just don't know.
Well, I also received some information that like the middle of the state, like around Rochester, is allowing delivery services that were just licensed and they're supposed to launch.
Oh,
so
well,
like,
wasn't there like, didn't they like say they were going to do like a marketplace
the
sort of
farmers
thing?
markets
Yeah.
too. So if those aren't up and running, does that mean that those stop too?
I mean, it looks like everything.
Every licensed event or permit is probably on hold right now.
Now, like, the reality of it is the traditional market is thriving. So if
Absolutely.
you are doing your thing, you're doing your thing, you know. But if you want to do the right thing and get it and do it, you know, legally, it's being, I mean, they're making it so hard for you for some reason.
Just
And I don't know why.
mad bureaucracy at its finest.
Yeah, it's like, and I don't know what, it just sucks. It just all sucks. I don't know why the social equity program faltered so bad. I don't know why that happened. I don't know why. And that's not just unique to New York either.
Oh,
I mean,
no.
California was just like lucky that like
The part that is unique to New York
unique New York.
is that the social equity was prioritized to be number one. Well,
Yes,
like in
yes.
California, those were like tier 2 and 3 licensing.
Right. And it was so that if you were Prop D or you were medicinal, like you kind of got like
You did get
grandfathered in a little bit. So like that was like a way better way to do, and it was kind of the only way to do it because like there's so many dispensaries that were Prop D, and then there was the trap places and like that weren't Prop D, and that's like mad trap. So like if you can't, like, if you're not operating under Prop D or 215, like damn.
Yeah.
So, you know, that was the way it was. And New York just kind of didn't have the luxury of that. So now there's so much illegal weed in New York. It's like, it's actually comical at this point.
It is.
How,
I mean, we saw people with just straight up jars in Union Square.
I mean, it's still like that. Everybody talks about it. Everybody goes to their bodega. Everybody, you know, it's just as, I feel like it's just as traditional market.
There were people set up with turkey bags full of pre-rolls. And, you know, all of the Mylar bags. I don't know what was in a Mylar bag. I wouldn't buy anything that I didn't see in New York City. You know, you don't buy that camcorder in Times Square.
Yeah,
that is for sure.
Yeah, that goes for all things, for sure. You don't want any Canal Street joints, for sure. But, like, to be fair, like, I'm sure there's some, like, upscale... I mean, I know there are, like, upscale trap smoke shops there too that like you don't feel. I mean, we were at them.
We were at one. Yeah, I was
them.
like the product was fire.
Yeah, no, like there was like,
and they were cool. They were cool as fuck.
Yeah, like so. I don't know. It's just like the consumer, I guess, like doesn't really suffer there. I mean, you do suffer because you're not able to get like legal weed and experience like that moment. But again, like you're not worried about where you're getting your weed. You're not worried about that unless you are. I don't know. If you're in New York, you're listening. Tell me what it's like.
I mean, if you've been shopping traditional for all of this time, you're probably going to continue to until like there's a better system in play.
Right. And maybe you just want to like see, and like all the dispensaries that I went to in New York so far, like had a line, you know what I mean? It was a lot. I mean, I don't know how it is now, but like, and it's easier, you know what I mean, than waiting for your guy. You know, it's just easier to walk into a place and buy some weed. Like that's just
what was the name
awesome.
of the first dispensary you went to? Without me, the district,
the really cold one.
the the district works or
Housing Works.
Housing Works.
Yeah,
Housing
it was
Works.
Housing Works,
I saw some numbers about what they've made since they've opened.
yeah,
and it
yeah,
was fucking insane.
Yeah, I saw that too. Yeah, I got like an email saying like, "Thank you for being part of the like." And we were all in the cold. It was fucking like November or some shit. Like it was freezing, and I was like, "No, I'm gonna do this because this is like really exciting to be able to fucking do this."
But,
and I think a lot of people share that sentiment.
Yeah, but good for the Housing Works. Like,
Yeah.
like people are supporting the legal market.
We love to see it. That money goes somewhere. It's nonprofit. It's great. That is what is supposed to be happening. I don't know why. And I do. It's because New York is New York. Like it's difficult to get a storefront. It's difficult to get, your fucking like it's like opening a restaurant in New York or any business in New York. It's very, very difficult no matter what, let alone a Schedule I fucking
It takes a lot of
drug,
capital.
Yeah,
and
like
landlords are going to try to juice you.
right. And it's I'm not like what's happening in like I know what it is. It just sucks because like you just want to see because I mean we won't do the whole 15 cities, but the fucking Yahoo did some like the top 15 cities.
Should we do the top 10?
Okay, we could do the top 10 real quick. But the reason why I'm so pissed is because New York tops the list. So before New York, okay, we just have a few minutes.
Okay.
So before New York,
Las Vegas, number 10.
Number 10 is Las Vegas. Okay.
I can see that. Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
tourism.
They really went nuts when they first opened Las Vegas. Like it was like.
This is all in metric tons too. They've got some sort of metric to figure this out. So this is 4.1 metric tons of cannabis have been consumed in Las Vegas.
Okay.
Seattle, Washington, 4.6. Number 9, 4.6 metric tons.
Okay, Washington makes sense.
Sure. The West Coast, Northwest.
They really do claim that they are like the weed capital.
They do. Portland.
Okay, number 9.
Portland. Everybody's saying it's super cheap. There's weed everywhere. No real confirmation of whether it's fire or not. Nobody's really saying it's fire. Everybody says it's affordable.
Okay.
Denver.
I bet it's probably like Denver.
Number 7.
Wow, it's so low on the list. Like,
yeah, I mean top 10, but I would think that they would be number.
Denver is like a leading cannabis fucking.
Well, you're never going to believe who is number 6 and is ahead on this list. Philadelphia.
What?
The city of brotherly love.
Wait, it's not even legal. Is it recreational? Oh, it's decriminalized.
Yeah. 10.
What?
10 metric tons. 10.6.
Well, okay, Philly. No, I did not. Oh my gosh, I'm blown away. My mind is absolutely blown away.
Number 5
is Phoenix. I didn't like the weed in Phoenix, but I can see it. There was a lot of dispensaries around, for sure. And they actually like are doing cool stuff with banking in Arizona. So.
They are. Wonder Brett just apparently went to Phoenix, so I guess
that's
it's
good.
safe.
Yeah,
we got.
I just got mid. That was it.
I mean, if we go to Phoenix, if we head to Phoenix, we'll look for that Wonder Brett.
Right. Yes.
And they're consuming 11.4 metric tons in Phoenix.
Okay. All right. Houston is number 4.
Houston, I don't know what the fuck's going on in Houston. All I ever smoked in Houston when was ever able to get was fucking dirt weed. Like straight up brick weed.
This is actually extremely bizarre to me because they're saying it's decriminalized, but like it is super illegal in Texas. I am terrified to have weed when I go through Texas. I don't have it. Sure. I like make sure I don't have any weed. They say a lot of people use medicinal, but like this is questionable to me. I don't number 4. I mean, Houston.
Really?
Come on.
Really?
I don't know.
know.
And no offense, Texas, but like, you're also like kind of a dick. Not all of you. Just your governor. Chicago, Illinois came through when when recreational happened in 2020. They said social equity. They said everything's going to go through ASAP. We're going to do it. Okay. Again, I don't know the vibe, but they really went in, and it was really great to see. Again, I think I got mid there. I don't think I did the pre-roll thing, and that's a mistake, and it's a rookie mistake. But I have to imagine there's probably some good weed in Illinois. Actually, to tell you the truth, I went to visit a homie in Illinois like a bajillion years ago, and it was like the very very small town Harrisburg, and like we got brick weed. I bought an ounce. That shit was actually pretty good. That shit got me very stoned.
There were some bricks that were kind of green.
Green bricks
brick
rolled
weeds.
in a blunt.
I was
bad. Fucked up. Like
yeah,
I was
for sure.
Take me to the fucking Sonic. Late night Sonic,
a
drive
hot
me
dog.
through and get me a hot dog and an icy. So I actually like love Illinois weed. I'm so down.
They're consuming 24.9 metric tons of cannabis per year.
Damn. Number 2 is LA. LA makes sense to me. We sell the most weed. That makes sense to me.
35 metric tons of cannabis consumed in Los Angeles.
It's just between you and me.
We're responsible for probably like 34 metric tons.
5. Yeah, that's just the Cool Nerd Weed Show. And then last but not least, Stickles, is New York. Now, they are the number one.
62.3 metric tons of cannabis consumed in New York City.
And it's expected this article was written, I think, before they put the ban on, but it said it's expected to generate 63,000 jobs.
That is huge.
If true, huge.
Keep smoking, New York.
Yes, I'm so proud of New York. It's so beautiful to see. I know I lit them up. So, but get your shit together and open up more cannabis dispensaries so the people of New York who smoke the most weed in the entire country can smoke it legally and safely.
You know,
dumbasses. Not New Yorkers, the people who are in charge. Please, I don't know what I'm saying. I love New York. Like, it's the people who are in charge of the weed.
You know who I'm surprised does not make this list?
Well, the top 10. We didn't. Did you look at the whole?
I did.
Okay.
San Francisco.
Oh. Interesting. I don't know if you're in that. I hit my elbow really hard. We can take a break. I'm surprised too. We'll be right back.
The final Huff and Puff with TS and Sasha.
We can't smoke in the studio. We are very well behaved, just so you know.
We are. We have it all the video evidence here.
We're all on camera, and I would never smoke. I mean, I smoke in my home studio or whatever, but like smoking in a
it'd be rude as fuck.
I would never in a bajillion years, not even vape. Not even vape. So it is the final, well, actually it's the final puff. I have to edit that. This is not Huff and Puff. We are actually kind of down with this. So in New Jersey, and this is true, like my mom has homies who have husbands or siblings or wives that work in the police force, and as of right now, they are not, well, it wasn't allowed for them to smoke. We talked about this on the radio.
Well, yeah.
But state troopers apparently can.
There was, once cannabis became legal in New Jersey in 2021.
Yeah.
Governor Phil Murphy said that it would be okay for law enforcement to participate.
Yeah.
And then quickly
was like, oh, just
that reversed that decision came through. And then, fast forward, you're like, why can't cops fucking smoke? We talked about this. It's
very upsetting. It's a group of people who should be smoking weed is cops. It's fucked up. So,
yeah. Officer Norhan Mansauer was fired from his New Jersey City Police Department after a drug test, and he was found that he had smoked cannabis or consumed cannabis in some way during his off time. And, he successfly sued the police department. Four other officers were actually suspended as well, actually terminated
They were terminated.
They were terminated
Man.
from their.
That's so fucked up. You
It
can't
is
even get a
fucked up.
cop terminated for actual abuse. For you know what I'm saying? Like.
Oh yeah.
Like
not like
check
paid.
out Mr. Checkpoint. You'll know what I'm talking about on social media. But you're gonna fire a dude for smoking weed that's legal?
It wasn't like paid administrative leave.
They fired
They
these
were
dudes.
terminated. He was
Fuck
terminated.
That. Come on, that makes me so mad.
So, in June, he successfully sued and said there's it's unconstitutional to say that these officers can't drink beer on their time off.
Right.
And while cannabis is legal to consume in New Jersey, it is the same sort of principle that you cannot, it goes against his constitutional right to do something that's legal and far less harmful than actual alcohol.
Well, this goes across different states too, right? Like in many states, you can't have a concealed carry if you say that you're a medical marijuana patient.
True.
You,
I mean, this.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, the cannabis and firearms issue is a whole nother another debate. But
Right.
this does all intertwine with law enforcement and various.
And I think that's where this comes from. I think it comes from the firearm.
It's a federally
thing. So
with cannabis being federally illegal and then firearms being controlled by the Fed, it is a sticky situation.
In Oklahoma, they actually ruled that banning cannabis consumers and owning guns is unconstitutional. So that's getting better.
That's like they set precedent in Oklahoma.
Yeah, and they do that in Oklahoma. They're actually very progressive in their cannabis stuff. So that's pretty cool. This is great. This is great. They and it is kind of it goes down to Second Amendment. I think that maybe one would argue that cops shouldn't be fraternizing or something. That's another thing that you can say, but it's all bullshit. You know what I mean? It's all bullshit. It's bullshit that you can't own a legal gun and be a medical weed patient that is legal, and it's bullshit that as a cop who is doing it on their own time, they would get terminated. That is insane to me. So good for you. This is a win. This is a major win. Be brave like this ex-cop. Be brave. Fucking sue. If you feel like you're getting discriminated because of your weed use when it's legal as fuck, sue. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes you have to get litigious.
Or just make a stink, be loud, say something. You don't have to sue. I've never sued anybody in my life. But you know what I mean? Don't take it lying down. You know what I'm saying? Don't take it lying down.
They're setting precedent here in New Jersey.
Yeah. So good for you, New Jersey. Thank you for listening to the show and fight for your right and all that good stuff. Know your rights and listen to the Cool Nerd Weed Show on YouTube and buy our merch at bigcartel.coolnerdweedshow.com and
don't panic.
It's organic.